good evening, and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home of the Premier League review every Monday or Sunday night. Depends when Mia would like to join us, because we have to work around her. Big up, Mia, and congratulations, Mia, on reaching your 1,000 subs on your channel. Very richly deserved, and well done for joining the club. So now you're part of the member. You can shut the door behind you and let nobody else in. Joining me also on this list is also on this show is Mr. Philip Brady, my usual co-host, and of course from the Full-Time Spurs Network, Mr. Man United fan who's probably very peed off and fed up with his team because they played apple crap and it should have been 1-1. FTSM Colin. Colin, go to you very quickly. Man United beat Wolves 1-0, but it really should have been 1-1, shouldn't it, to be fair?
I think Wolves should have won, personally. I think before United scored, Wolves should have been 2-0 up.
Yeah, it was that sort of a game. It wasn't a great Man United performance, was it, to be fair?
Oh, no. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. They looked like they were still on holiday, to be honest with you. I'm not looking forward to the game at the weekend.
Can somebody tell me how that GBH wasn't a pen? That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, honestly.
And Philip, look, you love an old VAR and a ref rant. Do you know, VAR is at it again?
I'm speechless, really. I mean, Sonny
the first time I've ever
brushes against the Brentford guy's ankle, who goes down like a sack of spuds, penalty given. And Onana can nearly punches the lights out of the Wolves player and no penalty. I mean, it's just the difference in interpretation of the rules by these guys that are supposed to know the rules and don't seem to. It's dreadful. All we want is a level playing field. Same decisions for all clubs. Not some get penalties and some don't.
No, we've got Leo Landlego. Evening, Spurs fans. Evening, Leo. How are you doing? And Mia, again, congratulations. How does it feel to be in the 1,000 club now?
Yeah, it's good. It felt like it was going to be a real struggle to get there, and I was actually quite surprised that I managed it, to be honest with you, this quickly. I thought it was going to take me a much longer time. I was always prepared for it to take over a year. So to do it in 8 months, I'm really, really pleased.
Do you know what, Philip? It took us over a year to reach 1,000. We've been doing something seriously wrong, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think
we'll
have to restructure here.
Yeah,
we'll have to have a rethink.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I can see Philip right there out the door. I want to run this place now, mate.
Bring the purple face back. You might get some Oompa Loompas subscribing.
Very funny. Right. Anyway, Mia, look, let's start with the results of the weekend. And of course, we're going to start with Friday, the first Premier League game of the weekend. Of course, it was a 3-0 win for Manchester City over Burnley. Colin, are you surprised Burnley got beat 3-0? It really was. It wasn't the greatest game, but Man City just turn up and just push teams away, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, every single year we know that City are the team to beat. I'm quite surprised that it was only 3. I was expecting a few more than 3. But I always knew Man City were going to come out with a win.
Yeah. And Mia, look, you never expected Burnley really to beat Man City. Are these the games you think Man City have chalked off before the season starts? So, do you know what? We ain't going to get anything from this game, so we just chalk it off as a defeat.
Oh, Burnley or Man City?
What you mean, Burnley? Yeah. You said Man City. Probably they knew they were going to have a tough game with City, even though they play well. That was a rude awakening into the Prem, wasn't it, for Burnley? Let's be honest. And I did feel a bit sorry for Company that when he was standing there. I thought, he just didn't it's all well and good. Obviously, when you're playing in a lower league, that's a hard league. But to come up your first game against City, that was harsh. Do you know what I mean?
And Philip, look, we all know Man City are the team to beat. As Colin said, they are the champions. They've won the Premier League, I think, 3 out of the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Can you see anyone beating this Man City side? I'll be back in 1 minute though. But do you see anyone beating this Man City side?
No, I don't. Not at all. And I think Burnley actually gave them a good enough game on Friday night. They put it up to them on a few occasions. Other teams buckled under the Burnley pressure. But I just when I'm on the Burnley scenario, I don't know if anybody's seen. There's a documentary on Sky at the moment called Mission to Burnley. It's kind of fly on the wall, done since the end of last season when they were relegated up to the end of this season when they got promoted. Last season, it's excellent. It's well worth watching. 4 parts, and if you have an hour or two, watch it. It's really, really good. It gives you good insight into what's going on in some of the football clubs. But anyway, yeah, it was an expected result. Though. I mean, Burnley were never going to beat Man City. It'd be a major shock if they did. Now we'll move on to Saturday. Do we have to mention the first one? I don't really want to read that name out, to be honest with you. But that was a much tougher game for them than people would have expected, I think. Nottingham Forest put it up to them. In fact, should have had a penalty at 2-1. But again, VAR ruled in favour of the team in red. Right.
Do you know what, Philip? I actually think that sometimes them lot get a bit arrogant because they went 2-0 up. They got a bit arrogant with it. And then when Forest scored, they looking a bit of 2-8 they did. They were looking a bit shaky after when Forest scored because they realised actually we should have pushed harder maybe to win this game by a couple more goals. But yeah, I definitely think Forest could have easily got a result out of it and it would have been deserved. Yeah.
What do you think, Colin? What do you think of Arsenal's performance?
Well, it's a game that I covered actually. I don't think they were out special, if I'm going to be honest with you. Again, they looked slow out the blocks. I know the 1-2-1, but I remember I was speaking to somebody and I said, I can't remember what his name is, the guy who scored the goal for Forest. When he came on, I turned around and said, you need to step your game up now because first chance he gets, he'll put it back at net. And when he came on, it looked like a completely different game. I thought Arsenal were very lucky to get the 3 points.
Yeah, I think we were all praying that Forest would equalise in that game. Dermot, you're back. We just started on the Arsenal game, so that one finished now. You can move on to decent teams now.
Yeah. Well, look, very quickly on the Forest game, I thought Forest were unlucky not to get a point out of that. I really did. I don't think Arsenal were this great team as everyone thinks they are. And also one of their players has been injured this evening. I don't know for how long for, but I know he's out for a while.
So the Arsenal players?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their new one, Timber.
Yeah, Timber.
I don't know how long he was out for. Right. But I know he actually got injured in training. So, yeah. So, look, I don't think Arsenal are going to be the same team as last year. Forest were unlucky, really. So, but anyway, we're going next to Brighton against Luton Town. The first time Luton have been back in the Premier top flight football since the 1990s. They've gone out of the league. They've come back in again, Philip. And it's been such a rise for them, though, to come from non-league to Premier League in the space of 6-7 years?
Well, yeah.
9
in fact,
years.
They have a player on their books he's been there all the time. I just can't think of his name at the minute, but he's been there the whole time, the whole journey, which is first time it's ever been done by anybody. So well done, Luton. We're delighted to see them back up there, but unfortunately, I don't think it'll be for long. I don't think they're going to.
I don't think. For me, Brighton played very well on Saturday, and look, it is. Everyone's can say, well, it is Luton, but to be fair, Brighton again playing some good football, Mia, and getting there. Are Brighton going to be a surprise package of the Premier League this season? Do you think?
I don't think it's a surprise package because we all know what they've got to offer. So I think their surprise went out a little while ago. But yeah, I think they're still going to be good. It's going to be interesting once they play in Europe, though, how they manage that. Because to manage those extra games is going to be a lot different for them. Anything they've ever had to come up against.
Yeah,
so I think that could, I think that could be detrimental when it comes to the league.
Yeah. Do you know something true about Brighton?
Sorry, go on, Philip. Go on.
No, go on. About Brighton, you know why they keep buying players for nothing, and so like on Caicedo, they've made a profit of over 100 million, and there's a little team in Ecuador is getting 20% of that transfer fee, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, Philip, they've got in receipt, I think it's over 368 million in received transfer fees.
Yeah, I know.
Brighton have. Look, we are going to go on and talk about Chelsea and the FFP as well later on in the show. Before we come to you, finish off on Luton and Brighton, Philip, Colin, Brighton and Luton. Look, we know Brighton are going to be in Europe this year. They should be up and around the European spots again. Can you give any glimmer of hope for Luton fans to stay up?
I wish I could. I really do wish I could, but it's very similar to the whole Burnley situation with Man City. Obviously, I know Man City are a completely different force anyway, but it's a very big wake up call and a welcome to the Premier League. Stuff that they might have got away with in the Championship. Now, the Championship's a very hard league. Let's not get that wrong. It's very hard to get out of, but they made mistakes and stuff and defended like they were still in the Championship. You can't do that in the Prem because the Prem is a massive step up. And if they keep doing that, I don't see them picking up many points at all.
No. And Philip, look, Lassie and you, look, for me, it's great to see Luton bad up, but Brighton are a good side. So where do you think Luton can pick up points this season, do you think? If they do pick up any points? Do you reckon
their home matches against the lesser teams, because the little ground is going to be so close to the pitch for the fans and everything. It's going to be like a real daunting atmosphere for the away side, But I think just moving back to Brighton slightly. I mean, I'm going to lighten the mood a bit here. Moses Caicedo has made an official statement on leaving Brighton. He says, "I grew up in a hut in Ecuador, fearing for my life, surrounded by rats, crime, drugs, prostitution, rape, and counterfeit clothes. Why would I put myself through all that again and move to Liverpool?"
And there goes my channel. Up, down, spout. YouTube, big email. Your channel has now been kicked off the platform. Thanks, Philip. That's a good one. Anytime. Talk Philip, bring her down the mood. But seriously, though, 4-1, do you think it was a effective score over 4-1? Or did you think Brighton would have beaten them by more?
No, I think it's about right.
Yeah.
Luton will get on the end of some hammerings, though. I think away from home, especially.
Yeah. They will do. We've got Leo saying that was well funny. We've got Cy Dancer 83. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Cy. We've got Destiny. Evening, guys, and Mia. Evening, guys, and Mia. Mia says hello. Say hello, Mia.
Hello. All right, I can speak for myself. Thank you very much.
Oh, dear. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we've got Shamu says Timber out for a while, he is. And he also says Man United were so lucky. Not sure how that wasn't a foul by Onya. He clattered the guy in the box. Yeah, we are going to get talking about VAR and all that later on. Guys, Everton 0, Fulham 1. I'm going to start with Colin. I'll work my way up. Colin, are Everton fighting relegation again this season?
Everton are fighting relegation every season, not just this season. I mean, how bad can you be? I know obviously they've got issues off the pitch as well, but you need to have that professional standpoint where you don't let it affect you on the pitch. I mean, a good example, I know we'll talk about it a little bit later, is Nottingham Forest. Very good example. And Wolves today as well. Very good example. I don't see how Everton stay up this season. Don't get me wrong, they had some good little spells, but I mean, when you're getting, I don't know whether you guys saw the highlights of the game or anything like that, but I mean, there were at times where Fulham were just completely dominant. And, when you're fighting against teams that are going to be should be on paper, theoretically the same as what you are, you can't allow that to happen.
No. And Mia, look, Fulham are not a bad side. Okay, there's stories about their striker going to Saudi Arabian League, which I will get Philip your thoughts on that as well later on. But Everton, they're a big club with big history, Mia. Why are they fighting relegation every season? Sure, it shows how badly, if you don't run a club right, what can happen to you, can't it?
Yeah, do you know what? They're a perfect example, really. They had an owner, which was a big owner that had money, but they've completely messed it up with how they've gone about a lot of things at Everton. Like they've just not done the right things, man, and it's just completely messed them up. They've been in all sorts of trouble, and I think they are going to just about maybe claw onto it, staying in the league again this year. because of it. And I think it's really bad that they're messing such a big club up, because they have got a big history, Everton, and they previously were a big club. So yeah, it is kind of like, I know, like, I'm not a massive fan of Everton, but it's a sad thing to see that such a club like Everton are being run in such an appalling way.
Yeah. And Philip, look, we all know the history of Everton Football Club, probably one of the nicer family clubs probably in the league, but they have been badly wrong. But do you think this is the third season now that could be in a relegation fight, that this season could be one too many escape, what's I'm looking for? Escape artists. Do you know that they escape from a, do you know, is it one too many times for Everton?
No, I think they'll stay up this season. Not so much because how great they are and how good they are. There's two reasons they might stay up. Is one, Sean Dyche, who I rate as a very good manager, and he will try that his best. And also the fact that some of the other teams in the league are weaker than they are. The likes of Luton, the likes of Sheffield United. I think they will possibly be the ones that are going to struggle. So they'll not be above 14 to 15, but I don't think they're going to go down. But they're going to have a rough season. They are going, and the fans are going to get very, very annoyed at some of the results they're going to come up with.
Yeah. And Fulham,
so I think they'll just about survive. Fulham will be mid-table. Fulham will be mid-table. That's
yeah, but a good start to the season for them. A good away win.
Good
for
start,
them.
yeah. Although it wasn't as completely one-sided as maybe, like, I think their goalkeeper, what's his name, the Arsenal guy, Lino, had to make a lot of good saves in that game. So I think Everton, and also I think Everton had a goal disallowed, which is rather controversial. I saw it for an alleged foul on the goalkeeper, but then it turns out even if it wasn't a foul on the goalkeeper, the guy that put it in the net was offside. So, VAR struck again. But let's say I don't think Fulham will be troubling the European places anyway. That's for sure.
No. Then we've got Sheffield United, Crystal Palace. One very quickly, Mia, just on that game. Another good start for the oldest manager in the league. Palace got off to a good start. Sheffield United promoted as well. Do you think United will struggle this season? Do you think a good start for Palace, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good start. They had a bit of a rocky season, didn't they, really, last season? So, yeah, it was a good start. Sheffield United, again, we'll have to wait and see what happens with them, if they manage to pick up some points here and there. But it was obviously a difficult game for them. And, yeah, Palace come out. It's not obviously an absolute drumming by Crystal Palace. But, yeah, I think Sheffield United have got the potential to struggle a little bit.
Now, guys, for the big result this Saturday, and I tell you, this
Saturday...
Hang
on. What about us? We haven't talked about us.
I was going to actually talk more about Newcastle.
I want to talk about Sheffield United. One thing I learned about them this week. They're owned by Saudi Arabia. They're owned by Saudi Arabian, right? But they haven't bought any players, right? And
that makes sense.
I know it doesn't make sense, and they've let some of their players go. I think, along with Luton, Sheffield United are going to be the team that's really, really going to struggle this year.
Yeah,
that's the end.
But that also proves the point of you don't know if an owner comes in just because they're a Saudi owner that they're necessarily going to just spend money.
He might be from Saudi, but he mightn't be from the rich side of Saudi. You know what I mean?
No. Oh, true.
He's probably down the road, down Del Boy's way, down in Peckham somewhere. He's probably named Boise or something like that. Colin, very quickly, Palace, Sheffield United. Look, good start for Palace, 1-0 against the promoted side. Palace are not a bad side, are they? And it's a good start for them this season. But they won't be troubling. They'll be mid-table, won't they? They won't be troubling either side of the league, to be fair.
No. Palace will be comfortably mid-table. I thought it'd be an interesting game because obviously for the last couple of years, Zaha's been their main guy. Obviously, he's not there now. But it's good to see people like Elise and Eze and all these players now being freed. Now Zaha isn't there, really. I think they'll have a good season. And just quickly on Sheffield United, I think they're going to be in some real big trouble. They've got one striker who's fairly decent. I think he's actually on about leaving Sheffield United as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But nothing gives me more joy because obviously I'm a Yorkshire boy. I'm a Yorkshire lad. and my local team is Doncaster Rovers. So nothing makes me happier to see Sheffield United get beat.
Or Sheffield
Yeah,
Wednesday. To that
Or
matter.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Can I just add though? Apparently, Elise is off to Chelsea. So
Right, very quickly
Another
on
one
the
for
Chelsea.
Jeez,
Now,
yeah,
can I
Yeah.
just say, a lot of people are saying that Chelsea are going to get done by FFP. That I listened to Simon Jordan this morning, and he explained it in a way that with all the long contracts they're on, I think I've got this right. With all the players they've sold and bought in, they're actually 65 million in credit at the moment, as it stands.
So if
But-
they change the rules on the 8-year contracts, then that might all change.
Yeah, that exactly. That exactly. Then they will be in a lot of trouble. But you know, very quickly, I'll start with Colm. Colm's within the football industry, as we know. Colm, is Chelsea making FFP a joke to what it should be there? And I think they are.
Chelsea are finding loopholes within the FFP. That's what Chelsea are doing, and they're very, very good at it. They've been doing it for quite a while, not just recently. These 8-year contracts, this is what the FA are trying to get abolished, because this is the way that they're doing it, so they're not breaching FFP. If these weren't 8-year contracts and spread out across all that, they would be breaking FFP left, right, and centre, worse than what's reported another club has done, who we all know who I'm on about. So, yeah, Fulham, yeah, 100%. No, it's that. Oh, what's that team? That team that plays in red in London. I don't know what they're called. Yeah. No, they're not as good as Charlton. They're worse than Charlton.
Leyton Orient.
Possibly, it might be Leyton Orient. But no,
save us, Mia.
Hackney Marches United.
But it all depends on what this ruling happens. If this 8-year thing gets abolished, then I think Chelsea will be in trouble. If they're still allowed to do it, they'll be fine.
Yeah. They're still, aren't they in trouble already at the moment? I thought they're already being looked into.
They are being looked at, yeah. But with the way they've set up the transfers, and because once FFP have had a look into their financial packages and everything like that, because the way they've done all their transfers and the period that they're paying over, they technically haven't broken FFP. So there's nothing to actually cling to them.
Yeah, that's true. But listen, guys, a big game Saturday evening. One of the top 6 were playing Newcastle against Villa. And Newcastle really took Villa apart, Philip, didn't they? 5-1.
Yeah, they did.
Did Newcastle lay down a marker for the rest of the season here? Hey, lads, we're here and we're here to stay.
Yeah, I think they did, actually. I think Will would be gate crashing the party now. Some of the comments from their fans during the summer about Spurs not being a big club and then being bigger than Spurs were quite ridiculous, really. I mean, Newcastle won 1 trophy in 65 years, you know, and suddenly they're a bigger club than everybody else. The club is being based now on dirty money. We all know that, but as long as they'll keep it in the FFP rules as well, and they'll what they'll do is they'll bring players in from that have been sold to Saudi Arabia, bring them back in on loan to Newcastle, which is perfectly legal, but rather distasteful, really, if you think about it. But they are going to be a force. They are going to be a force. And we owe them one from last season. We really owe them one, because that was the low point in my Spurs career, that game last April.
Yeah. And Mia, look, Newcastle, I'll go back to it again, 5-1 winners. Look, everyone thought Villa would be up there. What an awful start for Aston Villa. And they've lost one of their players as well for a while. Mings as well for a long time.
Yeah, it wasn't good for Villa. They just capitulated, didn't they, a little bit. Once Newcastle scored a couple of more goals, and it was like 3-1, and then they just literally looked like they just gave up, really. I think that we always have to be a bit cautious, though, with these teams, that they've had one good season. Newcastle are going to be in Champions League, and they're probably going to get a hard group because of the pot they're in. I don't think they're going to be as good as this year as last year, because I think that other teams are also going to be stronger. So I do have to think a word of caution where people are bigging Newcastle up so much. I think that actually we could see them struggle, because if they're in Champions League playing those extra games and they haven't got the biggest squad, So
They haven't got the experience. They haven't got the experience in Europe either how to manage
No.
those
and the
games.
experience, yeah.
Yeah.
And Colin, look, Villa were up there. People's prediction, top 6, qualifying for Champions League at one point. Look, Villa have a rich history. As you know, European champions, league champions have won League Cup, so they've really been there and done it, but not over recent years. Now the loss of Mings as well.
Big
Is
loss.
this turning into a bit of a nightmare for Villa this season, or do you think, they can get over it and do quite well?
I think I was one of the people, I can't remember whether it were on your show or a show that I did on my channel, that was saying that I don't think Villa will do well. I watched them pre-season and I said, the defence is like a sieve, trying to catch water in a sieve. It's so terrible at the minute. And obviously now they've lost Mings as well. I know that they're looking at Harry Maguire, which won't make them any better at all. It'll probably make them worse, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think Unai Emery needs a miracle, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know where it's coming from. I think if they can ride this out, they'll be fine, but they're not getting anywhere near the top 6 or 7, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Big up, big up to Villa 1982. Big up. Thanks for joining us. And this show is for all other Premier League fans. This is not just for Spurs fans, this show. It's for all the other fans as well that come along. Philip, your mic is rubbing your jacket.
Sorry. It's not my mic. My mic is on the computer. I'm not even touching the computer.
Your headphones are, never mind. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And that's forget it. And as for Newcastle, is Eddie Howe really a top manager who can outsmart guys like Ancelotti, Tuchel, etc.? Philip, could he?
Of course, probably could. He might. Yeah, who knows? I don't think he will, because those guys have 40 years experience of playing in Europe. Eddie Howe's never played a European game in his life. So, Newcastle will probably, they'll be valiantly come third in their group, I think, and get into the Europa League. That's the way it'll happen.
Yeah. And Villa 1982 says, it's only one game, lads. And that it is only one game.
Yeah, I think it's the loss of Mings is a difficult one,
Yeah, well, maybe they could buy Eric Dyer.
I agree.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I think you should make sure Villa in 82, you need to go and have words to say how much you need Dyer. Make sure you go and spread the word.
I tell you one thing, he's fantastic. I tell you, we don't want him to leave. I mean, Philip's his biggest fan. His middle name is Philip Eric Dyer Brady. I mean, he loves the man. Yeah,
I mean, I'd cry for a week if he left.
I think he copped on to us, guys. I think he's already copped on.
It'll be tears of joy now, but I'd cry for a week if he left.
And we've got Jet. Is that Jethro? Jethro Philip? Is that how you say it? Jethro Al. Very entertaining show. Keep it going, Dermot. Well, thank you very much. That's what we're here for. Do you know?
It was more entertaining when his face was purple.
Stick around. It might get purple later on.
Bring her back. I'm funny. And then we've got Villa 82. We're going after Laporte. But look, do you think he will go to Villa, Colin, Laporte?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think Laporte would want to play, European football, Champions League. I think that's where his aims are. I know they are looking at Harry Maguire, but I don't even think Harry Maguire will go, to be honest with you, because for some reason he thinks he's better than what he is.
Oh, Villa are in Europe, aren't they? They're in the
yeah, Champions League, though. He wants Champions League.
Villa in the conference, aren't they?
And also, don't forget wages. Can Villa afford Laporte's wages?
Yeah.
If it's on loan, I could probably see it happening, but
maybe.
Well, City would pay a portion of his wages anyway,
Not the Barney, the purple dinosaur thing again, please, says Peter Rem. Well, very quickly, Peter, if West Ham, we are working on behalf of West Ham United tonight. They are looking for their two mascots. Barney the dinosaur and Dino the dinosaur have gone missing. They were last seen leaving a Soho nightclub with some other mascot from another London club. We cannot find the name of it. They put a stump of it in the papers. It won't. It can't. You know, they went to the High Court. They've stopped the name coming out, but they haven't been seen since. And Mia's quite worried, aren't you, Mia, for Barney and Dino?
Well, Barney, Dino, and the one that's from the ones down the road, they're all still dinosaur buddies together. And yeah, there's a bit of I think I've reported, I'm going to report this as an exclusive, that they were all seen going into a hotel room together. Just saying.
And on that blending bombshell, Column's thinking, what the hell have I...
Get back to the football, please.
Colum's thinking, what the hell have I joined here? Have you had in... Oh, Philip Columns in the football industry. What have you heard on the Barney the Dinosaur disappearance column? Anything?
Well, there's lots and lots of rumours going around in regards to Barney the Dinosaur. Unfortunately, I've signed an NDA, so I can't disclose any information.
There you go, Mia. There's loads of so they're into Purple Haze. And Villa 1982 says we used the chat with Sway. Big up. Of course, Brentford 2, Spurs 2. We went over that today, guys. Look, we won't go over too much of that because we have gone over that today the last few days. Chelsea won, Liverpool won, Philip. Look, I watched the game. Liverpool opened Chelsea up for their first goal like there was nothing. Chelsea did get back into it, and I thought they deservedly got back into it. But it just petered out. Look, we all know Chelsea in the FFP and the strokes they're pulling. They've spent over, I think, £886 million on players as they march towards the billion. They've broken the British transfer record twice in a matter of 2 months. Look, were you surprised by that? Did you think Liverpool would beat Chelsea? But do you think a draw was a fair result for the game?
Draw was a fair result, I think, in the end. Liverpool were all over them in the first half, but Chelsea came back in the second half. I was quite surprised because I thought Chelsea have so many players on their. I know they've no. Actually, do you know what? I've got a theory now why Chelsea have no sponsor on the front of their shirt. They're going to get the players' names put on it so they each know each other. There's so many of them. They'll be able to know who they're passing to. But
hi, I'm Fred.
They've got a red. Did you not hear that Pochettino has to take a register in the mornings like they do at school?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, there's far too many players to. I don't know what they're playing at, but anyway, I mean they played well in the second half. And this this Jackson fella looks tasty. Where we got him from, but no, I think Liverpool were a bit disappointed. Didn't put him out of sight when they had the chance. I know Salah had a goal disallowed, marginally offside, and then he threw a hissy fit when he was substituted, so that won't go down well. But
no, and also
no, go on.
Yeah, go on, Philip. Sorry.
No, I'm okay. I'm finished.
Yeah, sorry. Mia, about the hissy fit from. So I asked you this as well, Philip. Then go to you, Mia. I don't have a problem with that, Philip. I have no problem what Salah did. Not one problem, one iota. It shows that he cares. It shows that he wanted to. It shows he cares. It's better than seeing some of our players like the dude going happy to come off and go and sit on their seat getting their ass warmed. At least he cared.
Yeah, it can also hide the fact or highlight the fact that there could be a problem between him and the manager. Don't forget that. There could well be. There's two ways of looking at that. He could be unhappy to come off, which like Romero was yesterday. He was definitely unhappy to come off for a really good reason to come off. I have a feeling Salah and Klopp aren't that particularly pally, and I think Salah was more having to go at Klopp than disappointment yesterday. I could be wrong, but he's done it before, and that's what makes me think there's something there.
Yeah, Mia, look, as I said to Philip, I've got no problem with Salah what he did. There was people in the papers today saying Klopp could be out by Christmas. A lot of people saying that they were like Peter M says he thought Chelsea and Liverpool were both a bit poor, but it's early days. Who's got the biggest job at the moment, Chelsea or Liverpool?
Probably. Oh, I don't know. I think they've both got different situations, haven't they? Because Poch is a new manager with a heck of a lot of players to settle in, and to get to play his system, where everyone knows how to play the way at Liverpool, just barring a few players coming in. So, but I feel that probably they're both quite under a bit of pressure. Probably more so Poch, because the way Chelsea are, if they don't do well, they tend to just sack a manager, don't they? So they get itchy fingers soon. I don't think that Klopp's going to get sacked before Poch. So yeah, I think that probably Poch is under more pressure at Chelsea.
Colin, look, the two big boys suspect the up there fighting for the title against City, which I don't think there will be. Look, look, Chelsea, we've sort of talked about the FFP and the loopholes they're going through, and Todd Bowley, and there's another. Probably we will do this on one Premier League show this season. We will talk about Chelsea, and Philip's got his own views, which are look, okay, I ask you this question, then Philip asks you about Chelsea and get your views on that. But Liverpool, are they in a bit of trouble here? Because they haven't bought well in the transfer window, Colin. They went after one player, couldn't get him, went back for the other player, and then now Brighton have put the price up. Is Klopp on dangerous ground here? Could this be the beginning of the end of Klopp at Liverpool?
Potentially. I know, obviously, because of these whole situations, Liverpool are now looking at Amrabat. However, he's pretty much a done deal to Manchester United already. So they're going to lose out on him as well. I think Klopp's losing his marbles, if I'm going to be honest with you. This is a game, again, that I covered over on my channel. And when I saw the lineups, I was so confused. I didn't understand why you were playing Gakpo in the centre midfield role, because he's not a centre midfielder. You know, he's a winger or a striker. That's what you need to do. I think Klopp has run out of ideas. I think that's the issue. He's not sure what to do now, because, you know, he had that fantastic run against City, you know, and they won the league. But there's not been anything since that, really.
No.
I just think people have clicked onto what Klopp does. Klopp's run out of ideas, has no idea what he's doing. And personally, I think before it gets worse, Klopp should jump before he's pushed.
Yeah. And I think that I agree with you, because I think if he does get sacked, it might damage the legacy that he has with Liverpool, and being the first manager to win the league title since Kenny Dalglish. No, since it was Kenny Dalglish. No, it wasn't. Was it Kenny Dalglish? Was the last Liverpool manager to win the league before Klopp back in 1990? Yeah, it was Kenny Dalglish.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was Kenny Dalglish. Philip, look, Chelsea, before we move on to tonight's game and just get a brief description of Man United Wolves game, and that will lead us on then about VAR. Look, we know Chelsea were run by a Russian Abramovich. We know what happened there. We know they were sold very quickly after the war happened in Ukraine. We know Tom Bowley's come in now with a load of investors, and they're buying left, right, and centre and breaking every rule going. Is it a bad thing for football what Chelsea are doing, Philip? Or do you think we're now on a dangerous ground here where it could unravel itself very quickly?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at this. If I was a young footballer in the Chelsea academy at the minute, I'd be looking to get out. Because look at the amount of players they're buying in. There's not a hope for any young lads coming through now, as far as I can see. I think what they're doing is absolutely disgusting. I really do. I think Pochettino will survive for a while because it's a honeymoon period. We give him a while. Whereas I agree totally what Colm's saying about Klopp. I think Klopp is a busted flush. I'm in a prediction league, and one of the questions is who'll be the first manager to be sacked during the season. I've got down Klopp to be sacked. But Chelsea, I just don't know. I nearly feel sorry for Poch. I nearly do. Not quite. He shouldn't have gone there in the first place. He will ruin his reputation if things don't go right there. Because he'll be out there by Christmas if things don't go. Bowley won't show him any compassion. You give him 3 months and he's not done right, he'll be gone. Like he's done twice already. So no, I mean, no. I think Chelsea should. Chelsea. There used to be a football club in Chelsea prior to 2003. What's been there since then has been a total abhorrence.
Fair enough. Wow. Just wanted to Peter Emerson. Salah is a great player with a great guy. He is football embodied. if he's unsettled at Liverpool, maybe he'll like a couple of seasons with us. Yeah, we'll take Salah.
I wouldn't mind
And
him. Yeah.
No, and big up to Lily White Lane, big up FTSM, Dermot, Philip, and Mia, who's reached the 1,000 subs club. So shut that door, Mia, and let nobody else in. Now to tonight's game, guys. Man United against Wolves. Look, very quickly, probably a lot of you have seen it. We'll start with you, Colin. You're the Man United fan on here. Really, Man United should not have won that. They were very lucky.
Well, I think that sums it up, to be honest with you. Very poor, very, very poor at times. I thought I was watching Sunday League football. But to be honest with you, it was poor from both teams. You know, the amount of misplaced passes from both teams. Both defences looked shaky. I'm not sure who they gave the man of the match to, because I was too busy typing loads of stuff on my stream of it. But yeah, United shouldn't have won that game. I'm a Man United fan, but I'm an honest one. United should not have won that game. You know, Wolves, should have been 2-0 up before United scored. And Onana, Eric Ten Hag's come out and said, you know, there were a touch on the ball. I'm sorry, Eric. I love you to pieces, but get yourself to Specsavers. Onana cleaned him out.
He's miles off it. I'm watching it.
Cleaned
He's
him.
Absolutely miles off the ball.
He is. He's miles
a
off.
yard away from him. Yeah, he's miles off it.
Literally
That's the most
on my
disgusting
stream.
decision. My God.
On my stream, Phil, I turned around and said, when it happened and the VAR were checking, I said, this is going to be a penalty. And I said it. I said, it's going to be a penalty. He's took him out.
Yeah. Well, I'm just reading somewhere on Twitter there tonight that apparently on Monday Night Football, half an hour after the game was finished, the panel hadn't even discussed the penalty yet. There's something wrong there.
Well, I know obviously the protests are still going off. There were one before the game, and the United fans are doing another, I think it's a 60-minute sit-in as well after the game.
Okay.
Now, Mia, look, that's the way to protest, and that's the way to do it. You know, support the team for 90 minutes, but do it before and after. Mia, look, you said we were in the back room. You said that's a penalty. That's a penalty for Wolves. VAR, is it still a shambles like it was last season?
Yep.
Yeah, it is an absolute shambles. It's inconsistent. That's what I said yesterday about the one that was given to Sonny. I'll understand it if that one is given every time out throughout the season, but they never are. They're always so inconsistent, and that's the problem. He cleaned him out. He cleaned his man out. If that was anywhere on the pitch, that would have been blown up for a foul. So it should be blown up for a foul against the keeper. Absolutely ridiculous decision. And so I will say, Colin, I don't actually think Wolves defensively were that bad. I actually think that defensively, Wolves a lot of the time got back and actually stopped your attacks and were really good on the ball when they were obviously trying to get it out as well. Quite a few times they managed to get it out and get past a few of your players. You know, I think Wolves actually probably did deserve a bit more credit, because I think defensively, apart from that one goal, I feel like the whole way through they didn't leave you with that many options. Like they didn't allow you to have that many chances when you.
No, yeah, I do agree with you 100%. I mean, the issue I was saying about is, like, I think it was especially the first half, misplaced passes from both sides constantly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my man of the match isn't even a Man United player. My man of the match is Semedo, because my God, Garnacho's a tough player to keep quiet, and Semedo pocketed him all game without any issues whatsoever. How he's still at Wolves, I'm not sure.
Joe, who else was really good? Leonore. He's such a good player. I really like him.
Yeah,
and Neto looks like he's back to his best as well.
Colin, do you know, I'd have a worry about United. I'm just watching this thing about Onana coming out there. His judgment, even coming for that ball, he's way off it. He's nowhere even close.
No, he isn't.
You know,
I mean, this is a thing. Obviously, I've worked a lot with goalkeepers and stuff like that. I mean, he had, I don't know what went through his head where he decided to come out for that ball at all. I really don't, because in a situation like that, in the position it is, he's got, you know, it's basic 101. You know, you shouldn't be going out, because that's no man's land. Do not come out for that ball. Stay on your line.
Yeah. Well, the only way you come out
on the wacky backy again.
The only way you come out for it, Colin, is if you know 100% you're going to get it. That's
Well,
the
yeah,
only time
but
you come out for it. But
he
didn't
must have
know.
known that he weren't.
Yeah,
He must have
knew
known he
that.
weren't getting that.
Yeah, absolutely. He
Yeah.
didn't care, and he still went into the player. And I feel like sometimes in the Prem, that goalkeepers are a little bit too protected because, like I
Yeah.
say, anywhere else on the pitch, that would have been blown up for a foul.
Yeah, but look, we've got Peter M said, I must say, I watched Poch in the Chelsea dugout and it just didn't look right. He was trying hard to convince himself, and all of us, he's rarely is there for Chelsea, but I'm not convinced. He also says, Wolves should have had a pen. What is VAR for F's sake? Sonny yesterday as well. Yeah, I'm going to ask Philip the question now in a minute. And he says, sorry for hugging the chat. Don't be sorry. You keep putting your questions in. We'll answer them. But owner's challenge would have been a foul tackle in a game of rugby as he's made contact with the Wolves player's neck. Philip, look, we all know your views on VAR. We all know your views on the referees. I mean, this is yesterday. Tottenham feel hard done by VAR's decision to award Brentford the penalty as some contact with Jensen was not initially given by the referee. The referee decision to award the penalty may have been the correct call, but there is a debate over whether it was a clear and obvious error that required VAR's intervention. Spurs, frustrated, were compounded by Jens' attempt to feign an injury, and it's surprising that VAR intervened on such a decision, considering the PGMOL's indication of allowing more physical contact this season. Now, Philip, on one hand, they're saying be more physical, like we saw tonight, but on the other hand, if you touch a player, we're going to give you a penalty. What is it?
It's interpretation. Well, one VAR official sees as foul play, another one sees as perfectly normal, which is the same, like chalk and cheese tonight between Sonny and Onana, what they did. You know, I mean, okay, technically, Son, that was a foul, right? But it wasn't a clear and obvious error. You know, and VAR really should not have got involved. The referee made a decision, they should have let him get on with it, right? Tonight's one, VAR looked at it. Now, how they didn't come up with the decision, that's a penalty. That's not only a penalty, to me, that's a red card. I'd go so far as to say that is a red card, and neither was given. So I mean, I knew that they keep saying every season the VAR is going to be good this season. We're going to tweak it. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. As far as I can say, nothing's changed. It's still the same incompetent officials who cannot run what technically should be an absolutely foolproof system of not allowing mistakes to happen. But you've got chimpanzees running it, and that's why we're going to keep getting these mistakes.
Yeah, that's true for the band. We are going to get more into that actually. Probably next week or the weekend, we're actually going to do a debate on VAR and the refereeing standard. So watch yourself for that. Mr. Brady would have his big views on that. Now, guys, want you each to pick your result of the weekend. Mia, what was your result of the weekend?
Probably the Newcastle game.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Philip?
Yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah, Colin?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Newcastle game.
Okay. And who was your player of the weekend, Mia?
Oh, come back to me. I'm gonna have a think.
I'm actually going to go for. I know he's a Tottenham player, but Van der Ven. For me, he was the player of the weekend. I thought for only just coming to the club, not training, having one training session and playing a game. I thought he was my player of the weekend. Philip?
I would love to pick him as well, but I'm going to be a bit more magnanimous on this, and I'm going to give it to Tonali of Newcastle.
Yeah,
the new guy from Italy. He was very good.
He was very good, Philip. Some of the one thing about Newcastle, I found some of their off the ball positioning was unreal. It was It was like they rarely have a system that will take most teams apart. Colin, who was your player of the weekend?
Oh, it's a good question. I think mine's got to go to a Newcastle player as well, but I'm going to go with Isaac.
Oh, I was thinking Isaac.
Yeah. What about Basuma, Colin? What do you think of his performance yesterday for Tottenham?
I think he played really well, Basuma. You know, it'll be interesting to see if he can keep the form up, because if he can, I think you've got yourselves a really, really good player.
True.
And Mia, who was your player of the weekend?
I was also going to say Isaac.
Yeah. Yeah,
still
and look,
can. It still can.
yeah, you still can. And then team of the weekend. Well, look, there's only one team for me, I think, and that's Newcastle. That I look, I think Newcastle really showed what they're about this season. And one thing about the Newcastle is I know you don't agree with them, Philip, and you have every right, and I do agree with your principles. Why you don't? But they seem to run in Newcastle properly. They're not doing what Chelsea do and overloading the manager with players left, right, and centre. They seem to be sticking with the players there, buying the players the manager wants. So
Wait till they
that, you
start
know, to
lending
me,
back players in. Wait till they start lending back players in from Saudi.
yeah, but
The next couple of weeks.
I know that. But look, we'll find what happens at the end of the window, Philip. But for me, the team of the weekend for me has been Newcastle. Who's your team of the weekend?
Yeah, I'd have to go Newcastle. Well, I actually did a slightly different thing. I actually picked a team of the weekend from 11 players on it from the various.
Well, go on
matches.
then. Give us your team of the weekend then, Philip.
Now, and this is I put Lino of Fulham in goal. He seemed to have the best game of a goalkeeper, right? I have Emerson Spurs, right back.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Lewis Dunk of Brighton, centre back, along with Mickey van der Ven. And I've got Udogie as left back. Centre, I've got Rodri of Man City, Tonali of Newcastle, and Fernandes of Chelsea. And up front, Haaland of City, Saka of Arsenal, it kills me to say that, and Isaac of Newcastle. So that'd be my team of the week.
And this is every week we do this. Philip will give you his team of the week. And so, Philip, if you send that to me, I'll stick that up on the channel.
Yeah.
We'll stick it up there. Guys, and who have I got to? Who's team of the week? Mia, who's your team of the week going to be?
It'll have to be Newcastle.
Yeah. And Colin?
I'm going to slightly change the grain here. Even though they lost, I'm going to give it to Wolves.
Do you know what? That's not a bad shout.
Very good.
Now, guys, yeah, that's very fair of you. Right, this is the top 8 of the Premier League because Newcastle are top of the league, Brighton and Man City in third. Arsenal, so that's the top 4 Champions League. Well, actually, top 5. Palace, if it finished now, Palace would be in the Champions League next season. Fulham and Brentford would be in Europe, and Spurs. Where does the European places go down to, Philip? Is it good?
It'll be 8 this season. It'll be 8 this season because 5 in the Champions League, 2 in the Europa, and 1 in the Conference.
So Spurs would be in Europe. Spurs are in.
We would have been. Yeah, the European. Yeah. We're in the European position.
Yeah. You would have been. You've been 9th after today.
Yeah, we are 9th actually. We're actually in 9th actually. Brentford ahead of us. Right. And the bottom 3 are Villa, Burnley, Luton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Sheffield United 16th, Everton 15th, Forest 14th, West Ham 13th, Liverpool 12th, Chelsea 11th, and then the top 10, of course, are Bournemouth 10th, Tottenham 9th, Brentford 8th, Man City 7, Fulham 6, Palace 5, Arsenal 4, Man City 3, Brighton and Newcastle are top of the tree. Now, guys, thank you very much for doing this with me tonight, and we are going to do it again next week. Mia, very quickly, what's your hopes for the Premier League next week? Who are you looking forward to be watching? Just leave Tottenham to one side, though. Who else are you looking forward to watching, and where can people find you? And again, congratulations on your 1,000.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing what Brighton are going to do again because it's interesting to see how they fare. I'm hoping that Arsenal get absolutely spanked by whoever they're playing next because sod them. It's late, so I could probably say fuck them.
Yeah, you can actually. Yeah.
Cool. I'll say fuck them and then fuck them some more. And then when they fuck them even more so, dickheads.
Right. Okay.
And then and yeah, that's what I'm looking
forward to. Don't hold back, Mia. Tell it like it is. Tell it like it is.
Listen, I've got a lot more that I could say about them, lot. I'll tell you that now.
I love it.
So yeah, if you'd like to come over at Spurs 29, and I don't swear to be fair because now I am monetized, I'm going to be even more so careful.
Anything after 10 minutes you can swear, but these are the games for next week, guys. Next Friday it's Forest against Sheffield United at 7:45 on the 18th. Then on the 19th it's Fulham against Brentford, Liverpool against Bournemouth, Wolves against Brighton, Spurs are playing some team from the north, Philip. I forget what their name is. Man something. They're no good at all.
They're the
Easy.
second.
Watch Oldham.
They're the second
Yeah.
best team in the city, aren't they? They're not the
Yeah,
ones.
they are.
Yeah, not the
Right,
ones that wear
right,
blue
right,
that win
right,
stuff.
right. I'll have less of this. I don't go around saying like you're the fourth best team in London or anything, so don't come at my club.
There you go. Man City, of course, are playing Newcastle. That's going to be a top game. Actually, that's going to be a great one. As 8 o'clock live on Sky. Then Sunday, Villa against Everton, West Ham, and London derby against Chelsea. And then on Monday, another London derby against Arsenal, against Palace, against Arsenal. Colin, which I know we've got the Spurs Man United game next Saturday. You're coming on with us to do the watch along here on THFC Till I Die. What other games are you looking forward to next weekend?
I'm actually looking forward to the Forest Sheffield United game because it's a derby game, obviously up near me. So I'm quite looking forward to that one. I think that one's going to be quite tasty.
Yeah, it is. And Philip, which team are you looking for game apart, of course, about Tottenham Man United? Which other game are you looking forward to?
Man City, Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. What a double header we got for next Saturday night. Well, listen, thank you guys. Oh, Colin, where can people find you, sir? Give your channel a plug.
Yeah, you can find me over on my small channel. I'm not part of this 1,000 club that I'm surrounded by. But you can find me over on Full Time Sports Network, where we cover all the football games.
Do you know what, Colin? I think between myself, Philip, and Mia, I think we'll get you there, won't we, guys? We'll give you a helping hand.
Oh yeah, we get you.
A little tugboat.
Yeah, we'll tag you along. Don't worry, in our strip stream. Philip, new memberships out today. Do you want to tell people about them or what they can get for them if they want to become a member?
Now we've got a few different. We've got a Matters membership now, which is the basic membership. We have a Ange membership. What was the other one, Dom? I mean, mine's gone blank.
The Watch Along membership.
Watch Along membership, the Ange membership, and the Watch Along membership. The Watch Along membership gets you to come along and watch a match with us to give your opinions on a game as it's happening. The Matters membership gets you into the competition where you'll be allocated. It's a pools league that I'm in. There's 16 people in this, so I'm going to put 16 of your names in there and see who wins. You do nothing, only watch how you're doing every week. I'll just transcribe the results on every week. It's very interesting. It's good crack.
Yeah, and the winner of that gets at the end of the season a Spurs membership for the following season. And then for the rest of the members, there will be another competition, and the winner of that will get a Spurs shirt of their choice. And what we'll do is
starting after September, after the transfer window finishes.
I think we're going to do like a Soccer Saturday sort of thing where we put up all the Premier League. You send us in what you think the scores are going to be, the results, predictions, and we'll put you into a league table, and who's ever on the top, we at that end of that season will win the Spurs shirt. Philip Singh, whoever wins that will win the memberships. But please do $2.99, $4.99, very cheap, I think, for memberships. And of course, Mia and Colin are both members. So Colin, you're entered into the Phillips competition already. You're down there because you're a member of the Matters.
Yep.
So you're in for you could win a Spurs membership, sir.
I'll have the first week's result up by Wednesday. So
yeah,
it's better than winning United one at a minute.
Yeah, I was just about to say. No, Joe, you should tell him he's going to have a Man City one. That'd be even funnier.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, if you win it, we will buy you a Man City one, Colin. Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you one about that. There's a friend of mine who's a very huge Manchester United fan. Goes to a load of games, and he had a birthday party there a few years ago, and the only stipulation was that he had to wear a Manchester City shirt the whole night.
If I win it, keep your prize, and as a thank you, I'll get all 3 of your Arsenal ones. It's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. That would keep my fire going this winter. But listen, we're not back tomorrow. We're having a day off tomorrow. Philip's doing his Roger Taylor impression up in Dublin, meeting Hog God 10. Probably roll out the pub about 11 o'clock, steaming drunk and saying, I am Roger Taylor. Where's the after party? And then on Wednesday, Philip and Mia are back on Newsbeat at 4. My PC's going to get some surgery done, so We have to wait until then. And of course, then I'm back on Thursday with Newsbeat, and then we're back with the podcast on Friday with the pre-match show, isn't it? LinkedIn, Philip, all together. If people want to go and watch the podcast, there's 2 up there already. If you go on Spotify, you put in the THFC, the Cockerel Clock podcast, it will come up. There's 2 up there already. And then we're back again with shows. So we're not on tomorrow, but Philip and Mia will be back on Wednesday at 4. Whatever you do. Mia, thank you for coming on. Congrats again. Colin, thank you for coming on. We will get you there. Philip, as always, thank you very much for coming on and co-hosting with me as always. And everyone in the chat, thank you. We would not be here if it wasn't for you people in the chat and our members as well. So we're very grateful and very appreciative of you all. So thank you so much. But we always, go on.
No.
We always finish with Fred. We are going to change this up. So who wants to say what Fred's up to tonight?
The Wolves manager when the penalty wasn't given.
I was.
Go on, Colin. What were you going to say?
I was going to say Eric Ten Hag when he sees he's got to play a pair in Spurs on Saturday.
You wouldn't have a crack, me. I might as well go for the hat trick.
No, you're all good.
Also, on that bombshell where Mia said it's all good, we'll see you back here on Wednesday at 4:00. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your day tomorrow. More content coming on THFC till I die. Hit that like button. Hit the subscription button. We're back on Wednesday. Come on, you Spurs. In Ange we trust.